This lesson is a review of integers and absolute value, and you need to have a sheet of paper out and you need to be taking notes as you watch this video. So before we start in with problems, we need to review a couple of things. First of all, what is an integer? So an integer is any whole number, which would be your counting numbers plus 0, and all of the negative counting numbers. Okay, we write the set of integers as ... -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, ... and then the brackets. So the ... obviously means that those continue on in both directions. So this is an example of a number line that has integers down below. As you can see, the arrows going both directions are basically saying that that number line is going to continue in both directions. So the first type of problems that you're going to have on your homework are going to have the directions that will tell you to write an integer for each situation. Letter A says an average temperature of 5 degrees below normal. So that integer is, since it's below normal, it's going to be negative. So we get -5. And then letter B, an average rainfall of 5 inches above normal. So that would be a +5 for that problem. The next type of problems that you're going to have on your homework are going to ask you to graph the set of integers. So for this example, we have the integers 4, -6, and 0, and we're graphing them on our number line. All that simply means is, since we're graphing 3 different numbers, anytime you graph a number on a number line in just that number, all you're going to do is put 1 point at each location. So 4 is going to get a point. -6 is going to be one of our answers, and so is 0. So your number line should look like mine. One of the major sections of your homework is going to involve something called absolute value. So I want you to write this definition down. Absolute value. Okay. The absolute value of a number is the distance between the number and 0 on a number line. So here I've drawn a number line, and if I asked what the absolute value of -5 is, okay, remember these big tall bars mean absolute value. All that means is how far away is -5 from 0. So we could look at, here's -5, here's 0, and we're simply looking at how far is this distance here. Okay, and distance always has to be positive. You can't run -5 miles. Even if you're running backwards, you're still covering 5 miles. So this answer would be a +5. If I asked you for the absolute value of a positive number, let's say 3, I'm still asking you how far away is 3 from 0. So here's 3, here's 0. How far is this distance? Okay, well, that's simply 3. So the next set of homework problems that you're going to have are going to have directions like this. They're going to say evaluate each expression. And notice that there are absolute values in there, but it's also an order of operation problem. So letter A just says the absolute value of -4. That just means how far away is -4 from 0. So our answer would be 4. Letter B says the absolute value of -5 minus the absolute value of +2. So absolute value of -5 is 5. Bring down your subtraction sign. Absolute value of 2 is 2. So 5 minus 2 is 3. Letter C, we have 2 plus the absolute value of -3, which is a +3, for an answer of 5. Here are a couple more problems. Letter D, the absolute value of -7 minus the absolute value of 8. So the absolute value of -7 is +7. We bring down the subtraction sign, and absolute value of 8 is 8. And notice we can't do 7 minus 8 without thinking of our integer rules, so we can do the 2-line rule here. We need to think, is this same sign or is this different signs? So they're different. 7 is positive and 8 is negative, so we take the difference, and then we take the sign of the larger number. So -1 would be our answer. Letter E, how far away is 0 from 0? That is just going to be 0. Bring down the plus sign, and then the absolute value of -9 is a +9. So 0 plus 9 is 9. And the last part, absolute value of 30 is 30, plus the absolute value of -22 is a +22, and we get a total of 52. So just to recap a little bit about absolute value. Okay, just remember absolute value means the distance from 0, okay, which basically means it's going to end up positive. Now taking a look at example D, we did not get a positive answer for letter D, but that's because 7 minus 8 ended up giving us a negative number. Notice that the absolute value of 7, or -7, did end up becoming positive. So just remember, absolute value just means it's the distance from 0, and distance can only be positive. So let's write that. And distance can only be positive. Okay, I have shared with you a Google form for your homework. Okay, so your homework is going to fill out the Google form. There are 10 problems that I put on your Google form that all pertain to the lesson that I just taught you. Okay, and make sure you are looking in Google Classroom for a link to that.